Welcome to my brand new YouTube studio space. In this video, I'm going to talk you through what I've done in this room, tell you why I have the studio set up in this way, give you a full breakdown of this setup with all of the new features, Blue, and give you some tips on how you can design your own workspace for maximum productivity. To say that I've been inundated with requests and comments from people asking to make this video would be a massive lie, because nobody has asked for it. If you've seen any of my other videos, then you'll probably recognize that the main change in this studio space is these wooden wall panels behind me. And I have to say, I do really like them. It does, however, make me look like I'm working in a giant sauna. But this can be changed quite simply via this app, which will change the color of the lights. So I simply change the color, and now it doesn't quite look so sauna-y. These lights can be changed to any color, but I particularly like the blue and the green effect. But I think perhaps my favorite effect is just keeping these lights to a very warm white color. I bought these wall panels with my own money. Nothing in this video is sponsored and nothing has been given to me free of charge, but I will leave links down below telling you where I got everything from in case you're interested. These wooden panels are from the Wood Veneer Hub, and these are the AccuPanel Contemporary Oak acoustic wall panels. They are really good at dampening down the sound, which of course is really important if you're recording audio, but the main reason I got them is simply because I liked the look of them. And I have to say that I took the idea for installing these wooden panels from Sam Newton, who made an amazing YouTube video about his own studio space where he installed very similar acoustic wall panels. Thank you, Sam, for the inspiration. The panels themselves are pretty simple to install. They just screw into the wall after they've been cut to the right size. I had an amazing Edinburgh-based handyman come and install these wooden panels for me, largely because I didn't trust my own ability to install them by myself. There is a sloping roof in this room, and I didn't fancy my chances of cutting the panels to the right size without screwing things up. But if you have an ounce of ability when it comes to DIY, then there's no reason why you would not be able to install them by yourself. So going back to the lighting behind me, and these new lights are from Light by Elux, and I have two Aura Smart floor lamps and one Aura Smart mini lamp. And I randomly came across Lights by Elux, and to be honest, it was a bit of a punt. I had no idea what they were going to be like, but I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised. You can change the color: red, light blue, purple, blue. So I've got them set to dynamic now, which means that the light is constantly changing, which is probably really good if you fancy having these lamps around your house. Less good for video. This is a cooler white effect, but as I say, I think my favorite for the time being is having them set to the warmer white effect. But I do really like the idea of playing around with these lights and creating different moods depending on the kind of video you want to make. The other ambient lighting that I have in my studio space are these two bulbs on the shelves behind me. And again, these are smart bulbs and can be controlled via an app. So with the Wiz app, I can control the color temperature of the bulbs. So if I want them slightly cooler, I can adjust, and likewise control the brightness using the app. So if I wanted them brighter, that's turning them all the way up. But I prefer to have them relatively dim with a much warmer white. And the final ambient light I have in my studio space is this fairy tree light from Twinkling Tree. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I absolutely hate overhead lighting. So that's probably one of the reasons why I have quite a few of these fairy tree lights dotted around my house. So these are the ambient lights, and of course I'm sat at this desk, so I have lights which are illuminating me, and these are proper film lights. So if anyone's interested, I have an Aperture 120D illuminating me as my key light with a softbox and grid, and I have a Filoni Tech Pro panel light as my fill light. The Aperture 120D, as I'm sure every YouTuber knows, is so ubiquitous that can you call yourself a proper filmmaker if you don't have one? Under the shelves here, I have another Filoni Tech Pro panel light just to give the wall and the shelves themselves a bit more illumination. So that is the lighting setup that I have in my studio space here. And the key thing about it, particularly with these new floor lamps, is that they're very easy to switch on. So they remain in place, and all I need to do is turn them on via the app, and then I'm ready to start filming. My studio now has two desks in it, and this desk here is a new investment, and predominantly bought it for making YouTube videos, but this is also where I do the majority of my writing. I'm sat on a very old and broken chair at this desk, and whilst it wasn't a deliberate intention to break this chair, it has been a deliberate choice not to replace it. Because it's broken just means I can't lean back on it, so I have to sit forward, which is much better for my posture. My main editing desk is a Series 2 dual motor sit stand desk from Go Stand. I have to say my desk is never as tidy as this. I've had this for about 4 years now, and I have to say I do really like it. Also quite like the fact now that this whole room looks like it's made of oak. So the oak wood surface of my main editing desk and this desk here complement the wooden panels now. I do really like the flexibility of having a sit-stand desk, but to be honest, most of the time I don't have it set up like this. I prefer to be sat down when I'm editing. It just allows me to focus for longer periods of time. But having it in this standing position is good for smaller, shorter tasks. I do also quite like the idea of getting one of those desk treadmills in due course, so I keep my step count up during the day. I don't have a comfy chair within the studio space now, and again, this is a deliberate choice. I used to have a sofa in the corner of the room, but I deliberately got rid of this because I just want this space to be somewhere I don't kick back and relax. I want it to be conducive to just doing creative work. For any filmmakers interested in the cameras I use to make these videos, I have a Canon C70 as my main camera using a 24 to 70mm lens, and my B camera today is the Canon C300 Mark III, and I'm using a 16 to 35mm lens. I have my Canon C70 plugged into my Atomos Ninja 5 monitor so I can just check my framing for reference whilst I'm filming, and I also use my Canon C70 for filming any shots directly above my desk. For this I use the Manfrotto 420B stand with counterweights to make sure that it's nicely balanced. The one thing within the studio space that I'm probably less keen on are these shelves behind me. At the moment I've just got some camera lenses on them and a camera, which is probably a bit of a YouTube cliche. If you have any better ideas for what I could place on these shelves or what I could replace these shelves with, then please do let me know. I think fundamentally the reason why I have gone to the trouble of revamping the studio space is because I wanted to create a nice environment for me to work in. So now I actually really enjoy working in this space. It's conducive to me making videos because it reduces the amount of time I have to set up whenever I want to make a new YouTube video. And in the evening, I just enjoy having some ambient light and changing the different moods depending on how I'm feeling. So it's now set up for how I really want it to be, and it's just enabling me to get down to doing creative work. The important thing to stress, though, is that it's not important to have a studio space like this for making your own videos if that's what you're interested in. For many years, I was just using photographic pop-up backgrounds, which was a pain, but I do this, and I'd also make use of natural light and film outdoors wherever possible. You do not need a studio space, a dedicated space like this for making YouTube videos. Fundamentally, the idea of your video is far more important than what it looks like. But I'm really lucky to have this space, and I'm hoping that in the future, it's just going to enable me to keep making videos, keep talking to you and sharing my ideas. If you're in a position where you can design your own working space, then the two most important things to consider are firstly, do you enjoy being in this environment? If not, what can you do to make it somewhere that you enjoy being in? If you don't enjoy being in this environment, you're very unlikely to produce your best work. And secondly, more importantly, does this environment enable me to get down to doing my best work? If not, what can you do to eliminate distractions so this environment cultivates your very best work? Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Massively appreciated, and I do hope that it's giving you some ideas for what you can do in your own working environment. It is now, according to this thermometer, 26.6 degrees in here. From the sauna, I'm signing off.